So from the day we were born, we are faced with the myriad worlds of curiosities and the unknown. The pursuit of the unknown is often a magical journey. Hi, my name is Kamal Kaur, also known as Kam. And my journey led me into the unknown. The unknown led me into the big, wide world. I was a little girl from a small town in the UK, and I left to venture out in the unknown to make it big in life, to conquer one of the biggest peaks in the world. Can't imagine what a proud moment it was for me when I summited Mount Everest last year on the 23rd of May 2019. My journey to the mountains started 10 years ago when I stopped being a yes person to everybody and I ventured out on my own unbeaten path. I have summited over 13 high altitude peaks. I have traveled globally to climbing countries I had never thought of, especially on my own, and I had no idea where I was heading. Just booked a flight and left. Venturing out into the unknown territory became one of the most exciting things for me. My ambitions grew bigger. I became stronger. My love for passion and discovering the heights of this wonderful world became exciting. The world was no longer to be feared. This uphill task was not easy. I had my share of trials and tribulations. An unhappy childhood, traumatized teenage years compelled me to break free from the shackles of the norms, the aspects of my culture, all going against the grain in order to be able to breathe and to survive. My vulnerability at a young age made me a target for abuse. This had disempowered me and led me to self-harm. I experienced the nightmare of sexual assault, as well as mental and physical harassment. I was caught in the abyss of drugs and alcohol. Growing up was indeed very tough for me. The turning point of my life came at a mere age of 14, where I had been gang raped. I was too scared to confide in anybody, as this would be shame. The shame of being abused and of other people finding it out. Not long after, I had still not dealt with this, but my life was further shattered by losing my mother at the age of 15. I was distraught. I was lost and alone. My whole world was torn apart. But then being broken doesn't mean that you are broken. I believe that your scars make you stronger and even more beautiful. So only shortly after then, I decided to take things into my own hands. I left my home at a young age of 16 to start this journey of the unknown, find a way and figure out what was out there. I was battling poor mental health and looking for ways to heal. I discovered the beauty of the outside world, yoga, travel, and adventure. It was all rejuvenating for my soul. I tried various sports and helped fundraise for local and national charities through running events. I fought a pattern of self-destruction, finding my self-worth, As the years rolled by, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about humanity and about the value of travel, opening and broadening my horizons. I learned about the importance of being heard, about having a voice. I discovered that people liked me for me, not just what I could do for them or what they could take from me. Despite having in many ways a loving and supportive family, this journey was my own to grasp, my own to take control of. When I got into sports, I realized that this was the one thing I could stick at. Sports gave me the energy and the drive and the thrive. I made friends, good friends that were positive forces and that made a huge impact on my life. Little did I know that all these peoples and all these paths and all these journeys that I was taking was just guiding me towards a bigger picture. I slowly then reconnected with my spiritual side, recollecting all that my mother had taught me, things that were imprinted in my spirit, deep rooted within me, just waiting to grow again and just keep feeding my soul. From here on, the opportunities just opened up. People believed in me. I became stronger. I gained confidence. I gained confidence in the ability to push myself to the limits I did not know were possible. I became faster in my running. People wanted me to run with them, to join their team, to race with them. My strength got stronger and I was at the peak of my fitness. I was then asked to take part in a 3-peak 24-hour challenge here in the UK. And I said yes. Why? There was some desire within me that thought, why not? I had no idea what the 3 peaks were or where they were. Didn't even know that I was heading up a mountain. And I've never been up mountains. But thank goodness I didn't say no. I said yes. Maybe if I had known, I would have thought twice about what I was doing. Maybe embedded fear. But I would have missed out on the most exhilarating experience that opened something up inside me. A curiosity, a desire to venture far and wide. My adventures led me to Australia and New Zealand. I spent 10 days with my brother and his friends. He pushed me to travel as I was out there, pushed me to travel to the east coast of Australia. And this was scary, for I'd never been traveling on my own, backpacking in a different country. Who knew? We should not allow our fears to control us, for we are limited by our fears alone. It was then I realized there was a wonderful world out there waiting to be discovered. I understood that I felt fear, but where did it come from? What was I scared of? Why was I scared? How can you be scared of something that you don't know? So I delved deeper into finding out where these fears came from or how to deal with them or face them. So I tried diving, surfing, as I had a fear of water. I went back to the water again and again, just trying to get over this fear. Discovered a beautiful world in diving and how beautiful the water was. I was ready to face my fears. So I was the only one who could dispel them. Nobody else was going to do that for me. I then returned back to the UK, and at this stage of my life, climbing took hold. Along with the traveling, this meant bigger mountains. I was asked to climb Kilimanjaro for a firefighters charity. Yet again, I had no idea where it was. Didn't even know of Tanzania. But I still said yes, and my knowledge about the world was still very narrow. From the moment I was on this magical mountain, I knew this is where I wanted to be. This was my happy place. This was who I am. Having coming back down to the plain, I ventured straight back up. This time I climbed a mountain called Meru, the sister of Kilimanjaro. I was advised not to go climb Mount Meru within days after Kilimanjaro. My curiosity got the better of me. And there was something inside that I knew that I could do it, and I desperately wanted to. I had no idea what I was going into. So when my team left, me and a porter got our kit together and we went to climb Mount Meru, and we summited just merely a week after Kilimanjaro. It was that wonderment and the excitement of the unknown that took me there. It has taken me to unknown territories all over the world. I worked hard to fund all these endeavors. I worked 2 to 3 jobs at a time with barely any sleep, but I knew how important this was. I knew there was so much more to do and so much more to live for and see. My trust in humanity and my desire to behold the world and its natural wonders gave me the drive to draw on my own inner strength. My ambition got bigger and bolder as I fathomed that the world was not to be feared. By now, I had found my self-worth, my strength, my sense of belonging, and a reason to live. Everest, of course, was physically challenging. It was also a challenge of faith, hope, and trust. I sometimes felt that I was in the midst of a huge void, not just of the unknown, but a black hole. I was confronted with the test of my courage and my survival skills, my instinct and my intuition. I displayed strength and endurance when we were hit by a storm. Along the arduous journey, I ran out of oxygen. I was abandoned on the mountain on the way down, left to my own devices. But I did not give up. My will to survive through the rugged terrain pushed me to hold on. As I walked back to Camp 3, at a staggering height of 8,300 meters without oxygen, without my Sherpa. I was frostbitten. Alongside of, I was processing the loss of a friend, a fellow climber who left his soul the North Pole on this expedition. And yet, this still was the most precious and fulfilling journey of my life. I had the good fortune to meet inspirational people who I remained close. I had the good fortune to experience the most powerful sense of freedom and faith as the storm cleared to reveal a perfect sky. A perfect clear blue skies at the summit. There were times where it's just me and the mountain alone. On my descent, the skies were clear. bright moon guiding me with her light. The feeling of there is indescribable. And people still ask me, knowing what I went through, would I go back? My answer is yes, in a heartbeat. If I had the opportunity to go back tomorrow, I will be there. So when I think back of how I came from a small town in the UK to have a beautiful, colourful life of venturing out, would I have ever been on Mount Everest and here today to tell the story? Had I never pushed myself out again and again in the unknown, where would I have been? If I'd not pulled myself up again and again, would I have inside me the warm glow of pride that comes from knowing how to survive adversity, whether you're in the mountains or confronted by things in everyday life? Had I not had the faith to follow my heart and instinct, where would I be? We all deserve the chance to choose our own paths, to give ourselves permission. We cannot control the actions of others. We can choose to change our mindsets, to free ourselves, to free our souls, to free our minds. So never stop exploring. Never stop exploring within or without. Never give up. Never give up on yourselves. You are stronger than you think. And you deserve this.